What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dominate Every Aspect. And in this week, I wanted to talk about eating out while in prep. Now, this past week, I actually went out to eat twice with my family, and my weight was pretty much, the same throughout every single day. There were some slight changes, but that's nothing out of the normal because, as we all know, our weight tends to fluctuate frequently throughout the week. This week I did turn in a new low average weight, so all things set aside, I did pretty good. Now I do want to talk about some recommendations and tips while going out to eat. So first and foremost, try to go to a restaurant that has macros that are set in like MyFitnessPal or MyMacros Plus that you could easily plug in. So that's an easy way of doing it. Unfortunately, the places that I went out to eat this week did not have those things listed. So what did I do? Do I throw all caution to the wind and eat whatever I want? No. Obviously, I'm trying to eat smart when I'm going out to eat. So one of the places that we chose, it was kind of like a gyros place, Italian beefs and that kind of stuff too, which is kind of all over the board, but it was still good. So what I did is I ordered a barbecue chicken sandwich, and I actually ordered some French fries, believe it or not. And although those can kind of be all over the board depending on the size, for my sandwich, when I got the sandwich, it was roughly like the same thing that you would get at Chick-fil-A, like a grilled chicken Chick-fil-A sandwich. So instead of worrying, exactly how many macronutrients were in this particular sandwich that I was eating, I just plugged in a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And then I searched for French fries, and I found, fries by the gram, and, I estimated how many fries were in this one. It was a large bag, and I split it with my wife. So if you can, try to find something that matches closely. For those of you who are not as good as estimating or haven't been doing it as long, I would try to stick to restaurants that have set macros. Once you have eaten out and can estimate a little bit better, then you can go to restaurants that don't have set macros. And then the second restaurant that I went to, it was actually for a church fish fry on Friday night. It's during Lent, so we're not eating meat. And my whole family wanted to go. They really wanted me to come too, and I'm at that point now in prep where I could still be plenty flexible. So I just ate smart. I went with the baked fish instead of the fried fish. And obviously that's just like straight up protein. And I didn't bring my scale. I just kind of eyeballed the size of the cod that I was eating, and I had quite a few cod fillets because they looked pretty small to me. They were about 2 to 3 ounces. So I just kept those coming, and then I just kind of ate responsibly. I had some green beans, I had some potatoes. I did account for a little bit of extra fat in the potatoes, and that's just me estimating to the best of my abilities. I weighed in today. Obviously yesterday was Friday. Today's Saturday when I always film these videos, and my weight was exactly the same from the day before. On average, this week my weight was down a lot, and I've actually saw a really big new low this week. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about going out to eat twice, because my weight really plummeted, and then it did come back up just slightly when I was estimating. But that was probably actually a good thing because I'm trying not to lose too much weight during the week. I'm really trying to keep it between 0.5 and 1 pound, and this week I actually dropped a little bit over a pound, which was fine. But I did see that really big dip and then that backswing up a little bit. So next week I do expect to see another new low as far as the average weight goes. But regardless of that, when you're eating out, I didn't bring the food scale. I just try to eyeball it the best I can. I feel like those of you who have a little bit more experience can look at a piece of chicken or can look at a piece of fish and really estimate how much it is. Now, I will say this, as I get deeper and deeper into prep, especially I would say maybe like 2 months out, so that's like 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. I probably won't be going out to eat quite as much during that last phase of my diet, just because, as a lot of you know who have been watching these videos, I do plan to break my diet up into 3 phases. And during that last 8 to 10 week phase that I have tentatively set up, leading up into my show into September, I probably won't be going out to eat, but I still have the option, because if you could estimate to the best of your abilities, that would be a time where I would go to restaurants that have set up macros in MyFitnessPal, and I could still estimate okay, at least because those are going to be accurate to their website. So guys, don't be afraid when you start prep to just completely shut off going out to eat with your friends and family. And when you go to restaurants, you can still make smart choices. Just don't eat like a fool. Don't get things that are fried super high in fat. Get things that are a little bit easier to estimate. And I would always recommend getting things that you can kind of pick out the different ingredients in, at least mentally. You don't necessarily have to pick apart your food at the table and like put it in piles and look at it. But that way, you could say like, okay, that looks like one serving of rice, or this looks like 6 ounces of chicken, and this looks like a certain amount of broccoli. So whatever you're getting, if you struggle a little bit, don't get foods that are too complicated. Try to stay away from foods that you think are cooked in a lot of oil or butter. You can always ask for your food cooked dry. So there's a lot of options out there for people eating out while on prep. Obviously, like I said, I don't really encourage it if you struggle with guesstimating. So start slow, maybe going out to eat with restaurants that have set macros, and then kind of ease your way into going to restaurants where you have to do the work and guesstimate. Now, one last thing I will say, if you don't want to use, like I said, like I used Chick-fil-A when I went to this restaurant that didn't have set macros. In MyFitnessPal, which is what I use, you could actually set up a food in protein, carbs, and fat, and you could set it to the gram. And when you estimate, you could actually say like, okay, I really think that this food has about 40 grams of protein in it. And then you could go in there and enter 40 grams of protein and click add. And that same food, if you can estimate the fat, if you could estimate the carbs, it is very easy to do. So that's what I recommend. So hopefully you guys found this video informative about eating out while in prep. I obviously would encourage you to get out and about and try something new other than your chicken and rice and broccoli that a lot of people stick to and go crazy while eating for months at a time. As always, guys, I hope you enjoy the training footage and the posing footage. Until next time, keep dominating every aspect.